Welcome to our hips and middle splits class. In this class we're gonna combine active mobility drills with really deep stretches and work towards these nice middle splits while at the same time also releasing a lot of tension from our hips. And we're going to need socks or something that you can slide on, like a towel. We're gonna need a strap and some blocks, or alternatively some kind of surface. So something you can use to prop yourself up against. And we're starting in our seated butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together. The heels are about in one line with your knees. And you can hold onto your feet here, trying as best as possible to sit upright. And if this pose is really challenging for you and you feel like you're rounding backwards, you can place a towel or a pillow underneath your hips. That's really helpful. Or you can also spend more time seated in this pose. So during your day, I can highly recommend to spend time seated. For example, while you're watching Netflix or something, just sitting like this on the floor is gonna make a huge difference to your hips. Now let's close our eyes here, soften your shoulders, and start to take just a few conscious deep breaths. And finding a deep, steady rhythm of breath that you can maintain throughout our practice. The breath is there to help us in each pose to connect with our nervous system, to stay in this calm and relaxed state, and to signal to the body that we're safe. Now softly start to blink your eyes open. Keep your legs as they are, so keeping the feet as they are. Just start to make your way onto your back, keeping your strap next to you. So make sure you can grab your strap. We're gonna lie down onto our spine. And you can place your hands onto your inner thighs to push the legs down even more here. So encouraging that soft opening of your hips. Let's stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. And then close your knees together like a book, hugging them into your chest. Bring your arms to the sides, straighten your legs up towards the ceiling, and then open the legs wide into a wide V shape. We're gonna bring the legs together, crossing and opening. Cross, cross, open. Cross, cross, open. So doing this a few times to activate our inner thighs, waking up the legs. Let's do 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Keep your legs open and tiny pulses. You can softly assist with your legs here, but try to do the work, with your hands, but try to do the work with your legs. So tiny pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove your hands, just holding it here for 5. Point through your toes. Keep the legs super straight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees, hug them into your chest. And then straighten out your left leg. Keep the right knee drawing in and grab your strap. And we're gonna place it around the right foot. Straightening out your leg and then take it into your right hand. So only the right hand is holding the strap. Your left hand comes onto your left hip, keeping it grounded. And then we're gonna start to open the leg out to the right. And if you feel like this is easy, you can maybe hold on to your big toe. Otherwise, we use the strap here and try your best to keep your left hip down while we draw the right leg out. Closing your eyes, take a few more deep breaths here. Last round of breath. And bring your leg back up to center. Remove your strap, hug your knees in, and we'll switch it out. So bring your right leg down, right hip is grounded. Straighten out your left leg and place your strap around the left foot, holding the strap just with your hand or holding your big toe with your peace finger. Inhale here. With the exhale, we slowly start to open the left leg out to the side. Keep the right hip down and then press through your left heel. Keeping the left leg straight, but it's actually also totally fine to keep a soft bend in your left knee. So the leg doesn't have to be straight, but if you can, then definitely straighten it out and find that stretch in your inner thigh, the groin, the hip flexor. And keep breathing fully and deeply. That's so important in every deep stretch. Last 2 breaths. And bring the leg all the way back up to center. Release and hug your knees into your chest. And we're gonna roll onto our left side. So make your way onto your left, using the left hand as a pillow for your head here, and then straightening out your legs all the way down your mat. And from here, you can use the right hand as a support. We're gonna lift the right leg and lower. So just doing a few leg swings here, so lifting the leg and lowering. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it back up and little pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee and bring the left shin down in front of the right. We're gonna start to activate the left inner thigh. So we wanna make the inner thigh muscles work before we stretch them even deeper. So now from here, start to lift the left leg and lower. So we're just gonna lift the leg and lowering. 8, 7, really squeeze your inner thigh. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it lifted, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it lifted. We're gonna slide the foot back and forward. So sliding it as if there's a really slippery surface that you're sliding the left foot on. Good. Last 5, 4. I hope you feel your inner thigh burning. 3, 2, and 1. And release. Well done. Let's move to the other side. So we come onto our right side now, using the right hand as a support. And then keep your legs straight. We're gonna swing the left leg up and lowering, bringing it up and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it up one more time. Little pulses here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the left knee, placing the shin down. And we're gonna activate our inner right thigh. So lifting and lowering that right leg. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it lifted, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We slide the foot back and forward, backwards and forward, keeping it lifted high. So good. Stay with it. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. So nice. Let's make our way into our tabletop position from here. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, drop your belly, lift the chin, arch your spine, cow pose. And exhale, chin to your chest and round. Inhaling, drop your belly. Exhaling to round. And one last time, inhaling to arch, look up. And exhaling, round your spine, press the mat away. And then come to a neutral spine. And I'm just gonna quickly face towards you so you can see better. What we're gonna do from here is we're gonna extend the right leg out to the side and then tap your toes down and lift. I know this is really challenging. Try your best. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze. And then place the right foot down and come to a more slippery surface. So maybe moving off your yoga mat if you're wearing your socks, otherwise use a towel. And we're gonna slide the right foot away from us to come into this half frog pose where we have the left knee bent, the right leg straight. And from here, you can just make some soft movements with your hips forward and back. Just softly moving here. And holding it here in stillness. Good. And slowly drawing the knee back, the foot back in, and coming back into our tabletop position, lifting your hips up and coming into a downward facing dog. Maybe moving your hips here for a moment, bending your knees. And then from here, we're gonna take a step forward with the right foot, placing the left foot into a 90-degree angle. You can place your right hand on the inner right thigh or use a block here. So you can also place your hand on a block. And then we're going to sweep the left arm up and over for an extended side angle. Just holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly lower your left hand next to your right. Come onto your left toes and heel toe your right foot to the right side of the mat for our lizard lunge. So we lift it high on the left toes and start to shift forward and backward. Start to make circles, moving your hips and circular movements here one way and the other. And then we're gonna slowly lower the left knee down into the mat, untuck your toes, and you can either stay here, you can use your blocks to prop your forearms onto the block, or maybe we can come all the way down onto the forearms. So choose your version here, whichever allows you to sustain this pose for a few breaths. Relaxing your neck, your head, softening your jaw. Oftentimes we start to tense up the face when we're experiencing tension in other parts of the body, so try and relax. I want to give one more option here for anyone who wants to add on. You can let the right knee drop to the right, rolling onto the outer blade of the right foot, and then bending the left knee, reaching the right arm back and holding onto your foot here. You can also do that while you're on your hand. That's maybe a bit more easy. If you can try it on your forearm and just draw the heel in towards the left butt cheek. Last round of breath. And we're slowly gonna release the foot and come back onto the palms if you were on the forearms, tucking the left toes, and we're taking a big step forward with the left foot coming into our yogi squat, malasana. So we're sinking the hips low, hands in front of the heart, elbows are pressing into your inner thighs. If this is too much, you can use your block here under your sit bones and basically sit on the block. And then still try here to press the arms into your inner thighs to really open the legs, open your chest, to try and sit up tall here, inhaling, exhaling. One more time. And slowly come onto your sit bones, keeping the legs, the feet mat wide apart, hands just interlaced in front of your chest. We're gonna drop the knees towards the right and through center over to the left without using the hands here. Just a little mobility exercise to move the hips here from side to side. And just do a few more. Good. Last one on the right and on the left. Nice. And we come back into our tabletop position. So back onto hands and knees. And I'll just face you one more time here, because we're gonna extend the left leg long to the side and then taking our toe taps here. Tap it down, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze and place your foot down and come onto your slippery surface to start and slide the foot away from you. Either staying on your palms or maybe lowering onto your forearms for our half frog pose. And allowing here the hips to sink down, and then maybe again finding just soft movement forward and back with your hips here. And then we're just gonna hold it in stillness for 3 more breaths. And coming back onto your palms, sliding the left foot back and returning into tabletop, and from there make your way into downward facing dog. Lift your hips. And we're gonna step the left foot forward, setting up for our extended side angle. Right foot 45 degrees, left hand on the inner left foot, either on a block or on the mat, and the right arm sweeps up and over alongside your ear.Maybe you can look underneath your right upper arm towards the ceiling. Inhaling, exhale. One more time, inhale. And place the right palm down next to your left, coming onto your right toes, heel toe the left foot to the left side of the mat, and start to shift forward on your right toes here, maybe making circles into your hips. So being a bit intuitive here and feeling it out. I really love to find movement in my poses. I feel like it allows me to go a little bit deeper, so make this practice your own. And lowering the right knee down into the mat, either staying propped up on your arms or a block, or lowering down onto the forearms for our lizard lunge. Again, trying to relax and soften into the pose and finding your deep breath. And again, you can either either stay here, or another version to add on here is to let the left leg drop out. So really coming here also onto the outer blade of your left foot when you do this, allowing the hip to open. And then we're going to bend the right knee and hold on to the foot with our hand, with the left hand, and drawing the heel in towards the butt cheek. And slowly let go of your foot. Coming back onto your palms and making our way one more time into our yogi squat. So step to the front of your mat. Press the thighs away, hands in front of your heart and lifting the chest. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. We're going to release the hips down into the mat and find our seated straddle pose. And here you can again, like I said in the seated butterfly pose, you can place something underneath your hips now, because that really allows you to sit taller and to avoid rounding back here. So it really helps to sit on something, so either a block, or you can fold up a blanket, for example. I actually think, yeah, the best thing to do is use a blanket or a pillow, but yeah, block works as well. And then try to open the legs wide, flex your feet, so the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, the thighs are really engaged. And from here, let's bring the hands in front of the heart, inhale, and exhale, start to lean your chest forward as best as possible. And if that's not happening, if you're back here, that's totally fine. Then we just want to work on finding a little bit more length in the lower spine, okay? That's where I started. When I started practicing yoga, I was back here, and over time, we can start to create more length and space. So if possible, you can start to lean forward and lift back up. Let's do 5 of these. Leaning forward and lifting. 3, 2, and 1. Holding it here. Maybe bringing the palms down into the mat. And if you're here, maybe you can even lower your forearms down. So try and find your depth. We're gonna hold this pose for about 5 more breaths. Also an option here to use your blocks, putting your hands on a block, whatever helps you to stay in this pose and really breathe into it, releasing all the tension in the muscles and softening down fully. And from here, we're slowly gonna make our way back up and find our full frog pose. So we already did half frogs on each side, so now we'll do the full frog. And here I personally also really like to be on a slippery surface with my legs, but sometimes it can be painful in the knees, so be mindful here, making sure your knees are okay, maybe doing it on your yoga mat, or just sliding here, sliding your knees apart, keeping the knees in a 90-degree angle, flexing your feet so the inner arches of the feet are down in the mat, finding your depth. And then we stay on the palms for a moment here to just rock forward and back and feel how the intensity increases when you reach your hips back. Getting so much deeper. Maybe we can lower down onto our forearms. I'm just going to show you also from the side so you can see. Maybe I always recommend to film yourself in your practice so you can look at it afterwards and observe how you're doing the pose and see, maybe, because sometimes we don't even notice that we're doing something which is maybe not the right alignment. So try here to arch your lower spine. So really basically sticking your butt back and trying to send your hips back and just holding it again here for 5 more breaths. really be so intense, but remember that if you don't feel uncomfortable, you're also not gonna change. So we want to find that place where it's really, really hard to stay, but we breathe through it. And that's how change happens in the body. Slowly start to bring your knees back together. You can sit on your shins for a moment and just release here before we attempt our middle split. And I'm working on it myself, so I haven't mastered it yet. I'm working on it with you. So now start to come up, and I want you to grab your blocks or some kind of surface that you have, and have your slippery surface or your socks on. We're gonna come into a wide-legged forward fold with the support of the blocks underneath the hands. So start to slide your feet away. And when you feel like you're at your deepest point or almost deepest, start to slide your feet back together. So we'll do this a few times, just sliding the feet apart and back together. You don't have to bring them all the way back, just maybe halfway. Good, let's do one more time where we slide the feet in. And now we're gonna come into our hold. So slide your feet apart. Try, like we did in our cow pose, to send your hips back, maybe lowering onto the blocks. Maybe you can also only have your hands on a surface. And again, I'll show it to you also from the side so you can see. It makes a huge difference here how you align your body, in how the pose feels, and also how deep you can get. So we want to again find this arch in the lower spine, straightening the legs, pointing your toes, and just holding it here for 5 more deep breaths. Last 4, stay with it. I know it's so intense. Last 3, 2, and 1. Slowly setting the hips back, closing your knees together, bringing the feet as wide as the mat, and just letting the legs windshield wiper here. And then the last thing we're gonna do is our pigeon pose. You can remove your blocks. You can actually also take off your socks if you like, and make your way back into downward facing dog. Again, take a moment to pedal out your feet. And then just one deep breath in your down dog. Inhale. And exhaling, sweeping your right leg up, 3-legged dog, and bring the right knee into your chest, lowering the right shin down, extending the left leg behind you, and taking your time to set up this pose. So if you feel like the right hip is lifting off the mat a lot, then place something underneath your right hip, like a block or a towel. And then maybe see if you can move the right heel a little bit further away from you. The more parallel we bring the shin to the short end of the mat, the deeper the stretch. And keep the left leg extended long behind you. Inhale, we lift the chest, look up. And with the exhale, we're gonna fold our upper body on top of the right shin. And I want you here to think of drawing your left hip forward and down. So left hip comes forward and down into the mat, and the right hip draws back. And coming to focus fully on your breath and all the sensations you can feel in your body in this pose. Taking our last 3 breaths. And making your way out of the pose. Coming back into downward facing dog. So lifting your hips up. And moving to the other side. So inhale, sweep your left leg up. And exhale, knee to your chest, lowering the left shin down. Extend the right leg behind you. And again, taking time here. Maybe you need something to prop up your left hip. Maybe we move your left heel further away from you and right away try to bring the right hip forward and the left hip back. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, we fold over the left shin, bringing your forehead down. Surrendering fully into our sleeping pigeon pose. Last 3 breaths. And slowly lifting up. This time we can just roll onto our left hip. Coming into a cross-legged easy seat. Rolling your shoulders up, back and down. Thank you so much for joining me for our middle splits and hips class. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.